Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Welcome back for another video. Today we're talking about if gold and silver could ever become worthless or replaced by another metal or something else that performs better or just as good as this precious metal for a lot cheaper in the technological world. I've thought about this before, and I'm just going to kind of share my thoughts and pass the question to you guys. It's a really interesting topic because gold and silver are so valuable. Well, there's many reasons why it's valuable, but a major reason or a major factor that plays into to the uh to the to the value of these assets is how good it performs in technology, being the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity and electricity. And no other metal performs like this in laptops or cell phones at the rate that gold and silver does. And if we're looking at something replacing it, will gold and silver still keep its value, or will it just fall off the map basically because there's something else that the industries and these companies can use that's a lot cheaper, and it would make the laptop cell phones cheaper, but also make it a lot easier for companies, for the miners, because the demand wouldn't be as high, so miners wouldn't have to dig as much out the ground. It could really throw things into, throw things way off. And I'm just curious what you guys think about this. I've researched other things that or other if there is potential out there, and as technology does advance, I feel like it isn't impossible, but I still do think that gold and silver will still be valuable, not only for the commodity aspect of it, because, a huge portion of the market still is driven from jewelry, coins, stuff like that. Everyone's always going to be having, gold wedding bands, jewelry, stuff like that. People are always going to be scrapping gold out of laptops and silver out of laptops and cell phones. I've done it myself. You can get a large amount. I researched a little bit. I think someone said you can get, I don't know how accurate this is, you can get up to like 60 grams of silver out of a laptop, which is a huge portion. But the only thing is 60 grams of silver is not for the amount of effort and work it takes to scrap all that out of a laptop. It's not worth it. So a lot of silver in these devices are just getting scrapped and thrown away, not being recovered at the rate gold is. A lot of people do scrap gold out of laptops because it can be valuable, like the circuit boards and stuff, but silver just isn't valuable enough to actually make that something that is going to pay off in the end. So a lot of silver is getting lost at rates quicker than gold. The gold to silver ratio is at all-time highs right now, over 90 to 1. And if it's coming out the ground 9 to 1, then I see that silver has more potential to have a higher or have a higher target price of appreciating, whether it's moving up towards gold or gold lowering. I don't think gold would lower more because gold's always been, really strong, it's really stable. So I feel like if anything would happen, if these two metals were to move at any rate, I feel silver would be appreciating up to gold, lowering the gold to silver ratio. I don't know what the ratio would be. Historical times, it's usually around 40 to 1. So if that was the case, silver would have to be a lot higher. I don't think it would be that. If it would, it'd be a slowly appreciating, type of term that would be in effect for that. It wouldn't just happen overnight or in a couple months. But there's definitely a lot of potential. I think silver has a lot more potential for gold. I made a video about this the other day, talking about this, like why I don't buy gold, and I was just listing some of the reasons that I feel silver is a lot more valuable or has a lot more potential to appreciate towards its actual or its natural price. Just because spot price says something is worth something does not mean that's what the actual value is. If you understand what intrinsic value is, then you can really understand that, just because someone says silver is worth $15 an ounce does not mean that that's what it's actually, that's what its real value is. It's a lot more, especially if you look at all of the several uses that silver has in the industrial, technological, and medical world. So, if we're looking at commodity, I mentioned commodities, and commodities are more, I think, and I mentioned this in my video the other day as well. I feel like gold is more of a commodity and silver is more of an asset. I mean, there still is silver used for jewelry and coins and stuff, but um, I think that silver is more of an asset in terms of the main portion that silver is being used. And I'm sure there is charts out there, but silver's more for technology and its benefits for that part, especially because how good it performs in laptops for as cheap as it is, $15 an ounce, compared to gold's uses in technology being over $1,000 an ounce. You would see that the demand for silver in the industrial world is a lot higher. Gold is much higher in the world of jewelry, coins, stuff like that. So there is still some stability, even if there was something to replace gold and silver for the other uses that it has. I definitely think that if people are going to be purchasing gold in the future, it will still be for jewelry, for coins, especially as coin collecting is becoming more popular, but also in the sense of natural natural price fluctuation within people's fiat currency. They're realizing that hyperinflation is real, that the economy isn't as stable as they once thought, and they want to preserve their wealth into something with actual value. And especially as the economy becomes more more scared, or as more problems arise, more fear sets into people, they usually go towards gold and silver for that security because they do understand that it is valuable. And I made a video about that as well, where usually every time gold and silver appreciates, or when it was $50 an ounce in 2011, there was many things in the economy happening where people were scared, whether it was Y2K, September 11th, and panic sets in, and people don't trust banks as much, so they want to go to something where they know they can store their money, as the dollar is either losing its purchasing power or depreciating, or just looking at us.clock.org, seeing how many trillions of dollars in debt we are, and that scares people, so they want to put their money into something that stores its value. It's not in the sense of trying to get rich quick. Silver is definitely not a get rich quick scheme. It's more of a longer preservation of your wealth, storing it in something, and then later down the line you can come back to it. Now, when it comes to silver ETFs and stocks and stuff like that, it would be a different market than the physical precious metals when it's coming to, if it, like, this is in regards to if a precious metal was to replace, or some type of technological instrument was used to replace silver and gold, performing better than it for cheaper. I still think that the markets would be the same, just like with stocks. Just like with stock markets, there's always a market where people are going to buy and sell, and it's going to fluctuate regardless of what's going on for the actual product itself. Usually you can capitalize on this if you can see, because a lot of it is off speculation, but there is measure there is things in line where, if you can understand what's happening behind the scenes, then you can get a head start on which products or which asset, which investment is going to do better. So if silver and gold was to be replaced, or not be as valuable as it once was, then maybe other assets could fluctuate, whether it's copper, platinum, palladium. But I feel like they are intertwined at some degree. Gold to silver ratio has been pretty stable, for a while now. So that's something to think about. Now, when it comes to when I'm thinking of market demand, whether it's people saying that silver is always going to be stuck at $15-$20, then I'm trying to get people to realize that silver is not just an asset for for the reasons that people think. Some people think it's only for coins, it's only for jewelry, and just because there's a market for that does not mean that that market cannot change, especially if people are looking at the bigger picture. If you're looking at the bigger picture of precious metals, then you can see that 1 ounce of silver is worth a lot more than $15, even $100, even if you're comparing it to gold. Now, I tried to do a thing to try to kind of separate my brain. I was looking at, okay, so 1 ounce, no, 1 ounce of gold compared to 100 ounces of silver. And because that's about the same, that's about the same type of value. And by the way, I always think silver and gold are going to be valuable. They've been deemed valuable for thousands upon thousands of years, always used as a trade as a means for currency and trade. So I don't think that would ever change, regardless of, if what technology does or how it's advancing. It's always been valuable. It always has. That even before the gold standard, I'm talking about, thousands of years ago, this was always a form of currency or form of value. But looking at 1 ounce of gold versus 100 ounces of silver, I don't know how much gold performs in technology compared to 100 ounces of silver, but 100 ounces of silver is a lot of silver. And that you can, if you have a stack of 100 ounces of silver, you can see how valuable that is. And if you're looking at that price range compared to 1 ounce of gold, you can see that it's way out of whack. And if you're trying to get a better idea of the gold to silver ratio, how extremely out of whack it is right now, that's a great way to look at it. Think about having a 1 ounce gold coin in front of you and 100 ounces of American Eagles, and you can see that it is extremely overpriced right now or underpriced, and something has to fluctuate and start correcting itself before it gets any better. I definitely think that silver would appreciate before gold depreciates, and that's just my opinion. These are all my opinions. I'm just trying to give some insight and some thoughts that cross my mind when I think about these topics. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I posted daily videos at 4 p.m. every day, so stay tuned for that. I hope you guys did enjoy this. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. This is more of a theoretical type video, just trying to throw some stuff out there and try to see what other people think as well, because that's how I learn myself. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe if you already haven't. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.